Oh, these are your top 3 D-Series questions for me. Gets a little hard, doesn't it? You're doing it, dude. What's going on, you guys? It's been a minute. In today's episode, I'm gonna go over the top 3 D-Series questions that you guys ask me. But first, let's check out the car. You haven't seen it in a minute. Biggest change that I made is lowering the thing. But it looks sweet. Then I got this tire lettering going on. I think it looks cool. I kinda wanted to go for a little bit of the Kanjo theme, and I'd like to keep building on that. I feel like out on track, you don't see too many kind of Kanjo themed cars. And then, as far as the engine, whoops, that's not there. I've absolutely got updates to share with you guys, but it's still gonna be a minute on that. So you guys tell me, if you have a D-Series in your car, what's the most common question you get asked about it? Let's play a fun game down in the comments with that. All right, so the third most common question I get, how do you run a D16Y8 OBD1? This is my D16Y8 that's been out of the car for a while, no surprises there. And I know why this is a commonly asked question. There is not a lot of great information out there on how to run a D16Y8 OBD1. So the first thing I did was get a chipped P28 ECU. Now the benefit of having a chipped P28 ECU is that someone can tune it, they can change it. And what I got from the very beginning was a base map that was set for a D16Y8. Again, this is a D16Y8 that is running OBD1. This down here is my P28 computer, and that is looking for 16 degrees of ignition timing. So now I know I've heard of people talking about different ways of running the timing on these when you do OBD1 with a Y8. Stock, a Y8 wants to run at 12 degrees, but that's with its OBD2 computer. This is OBD1, and that computer is looking for 16 degrees. Out of all the D-Series, the D16Y8 was the only one to run 12 degrees before top dead center. Every other engine runs 16. Also a benefit of the chipped ECU is I had my O2 sensor deleted. For OBD1, there's only one O2 sensor. For OBD2, there is 2. So if your ECU isn't looking for an O2 sensor at all, you don't gotta worry about the 4-wire or 2-wire thing. Just have a bolt or even the O2 sensor plugged up into your exhaust manifold to block exhaust from actually coming out there. And since you're asking me how to run an OBD1, go ahead and use your OBD1 harness. One of the biggest benefits of having your OBD1 harness still is that you can just use it. The big modification that you need to do to your OBD1 wiring harness is wire up the VTEC solenoid. And that requires running a wire from the engine harness all the way back into the ECU. And then finally, you need to run your OBD1 distributor. This one is not the correct one, but you would use a D15B7 distributor, and you actually have to notch out these holes a little bit so that you could advance the timing enough. It's running great, and again, it is running OBD1. One big issue we had was with the timing, getting the ignition timing going. You can see here how the distributor's all the way jacked over. This is a D15B7 distributor that we essentially just bored out the hole just a little bit on this side to be able to advance it enough to get to the right timing. All the wiring on the inside is still OBD1, so injectors and everything, all from a Z6. It sounds like a weird thing, it sounds scary, I know, but use the D15B7 distributor on your D16Y8 because it fits right up and the post mounts are relatively close. These holes right here. But you need to drill out those holes just a little bit to run the thing at the proper degree. The next most common question I get, is a VTEC head swap worth it? Thumbs up.
I think we're good, boys. I say we pull the trigger. Let me look at me real quick. Yeah, you just want to go ahead and put those like that. Woo! That's it.
Short answer, no. Hear me out, hear me out. But Rob, the VTECs, the VTECs! Dude, let me tell you, when you got your single cam VTEC going on, it is not the same as a dual overhead cam. You are not gonna get all the cool sounds, all the coolness that you think might come with it. But Rob, bruh, it's an extra 20 horsepower. Yeah, but still not worth it in my opinion, you guys. So here's why I say that. You see the difference right here? This thing has been nice and machined, right? This has not. We take this beautifully painted valve cover off, wonder who did that, and look how nice and refreshed this is on the inside. That's right, this head was refreshed, so that means that it was surfaced down here as well. Surface flat, brand new head gasket. Everything up here is working awesome, looks awesome. Problem is this was never refreshed. This was never surfaced. So if you're only doing a half-seas kind of job on it like this, problems come up. And for me, that main problem was burning oil. A lot of it. This time, my issues lied with the oiling and the fact that it was burning it like crazy, man. What I just showed you there is just from me driving just 2 hours straight. I'm taking a highway the whole way, cruising at about 32 to 3,500 RPM. So 3,500 RPM for 2 hours and it burns that much oil. After just a couple laps at the firm, doing the parade laps, it was about down to there, if not down even a little further. It was full. It was above that top circle. It burned its oil in 2 laps. In that short amount of time. I was like, so obvious solution, go ahead and get the bottom end refreshed as well. But that's just my point. If you're gonna do just a head swap, nothing else, leave the block in your car still, man, I just don't recommend it. Too many problems could come up. If you're gonna do a refresh on something, do the whole thing. Or you might be saying, hey, I'm just buying my friend's VTEC head, I'm gonna put it on my Y7, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna surface, I'm not gonna get it refreshed. Well, that sounds pretty sketchy too, because if you don't have a smooth, flat surface, you may have cooling issues. That's a problem right there too. Maybe if you're just daily driving your car like that, it's gonna be fine. Maybe, I don't know. But I think it's a gamble. What I was using this car for, what I was using that engine for, was to go rip it on a racetrack. Yeah, I said rip it with the D series. It still can do it. But you're living at high RPMs the whole time. But even just me driving up to the firm, like I said, I burned all that oil. Probably if I would have done 1-2 laps out there, I would have burned just as much because you're just constantly at 7,000 RPM. So you do what you want, you do what you want. But if it's my money, again, I'm not doing a VTEC head swap on my non-VTEC block. It's just not worth it. And finally, the #1 question I get from the wider community about the D series. Why do I still have it? I realize there's a lot of new people on this channel who haven't followed my journey the entire way, but I'd really encourage you to go ahead and subscribe, look back in the thing, and see. When I first started this whole project 5-ish years ago, yeah, 5 years, I really wanted to do the whole Gran Turismo approach. My whole big thought was I'm gonna buy this base bone stock car, bring it out to a racetrack, which I did. Bone stock everything, which it was. Race it, I did. Come back to the garage, make improvements, keep going back out, rinse and repeat, see what I need to improve. I had 0 experience out on a racetrack, and I had 0 experience working on a car. The D series was a perfect platform for that. Okay, but Rob, you've been going to the track for a while, you've made a few upgrades to the car, you've had multiple D series. But why? Frankly, I never felt like I got the full on track time I wanted until more recently. I kept having engine issues. I got that stupid Z6, that didn't work out. The Y8, got the head refreshed, burning oil like crazy, that didn't work out. Finally got to the D16A, and this thing has been super reliable. I've put in a lot of track days at a couple different tracks now. And my whole main goal with that was just to get more seat time. But all along the way, I've been learning how to work on a car with the D series. I know the first thing to do typically when you get your Honda is throw the D series in the trash and go ahead and get the B and the K. And I don't want to forget the H too, poor H guys. But again, for me, I really wanted to develop my driving skill, and the 100 horsepower D series, perfect for that. It's also a great engine to learn how to work on a car with. It's relatively simple compared to like newer cars and stuff that is. Still pretty dumb with all its old OBD1-ness. Sorry, engine, sorry. But it's a great platform. And if you're looking to get into a track car, a race car, or just start learning how to work on a car, I recommend the Civic and the D series to anybody. And so those are the top 3 questions that I get from you guys, the wider community. Just realize those are all just my opinions. If you want to do your VTEC head swap on your non-VTEC, go for it, man. I just suggest to do it the proper way. Take the whole engine out, get everything refreshed. At least get the thing surfaced. And I would probably put in some piston rings too. But I realize that's a whole bunch more money. The allure of doing a head swap, a VTEC head swap, is to just take the non-VTEC head off from your car with the block still in the car and then swap the head over. I get it. And it probably works for a ton of people. It was a disaster for me. I don't recommend it. In terms of running a D16Y8 though, again, I'll link that video up here so that you guys can get to that one, because I realize there still is not a lot of good information out there. And don't worry you guys, I got a ton of stuff coming, okay? A ton of stuff. Currently, I'm sitting on a few months worth of videos, but I'm in a bigger, larger process, okay? I have a big thing going. I don't want to just throw it out there and rush it. But so that's it for this one, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and talk to you in the next.